What's going on, everyone? My name is Wastebro. That's winning at stressful times every time. And at this time, we got some ACC football. Let's start off, guys, with the Louisville Cardinals. Bonus team, not the four teams you see up here, but the Louisville Cardinals, man, their defense right now is on fire. I'm like, whoever playing Louisville right now, it's going to be scary times for you. I think Louisville plays Indiana this weekend at Indiana. So that's a game I'm going to be keeping my eyes on. But that should be a close game. That should be a good game. I'm a little bit worried about Louisville offense because their quarterback, the quarterback play is kind of shaky. But Louisville's defense is what we all expect them to be in the ACC. They play hard-nosed football. They run downhill. And I'm expecting Louisville to win this game. I got them winning by like 7 points. I don't know what the spread is on the game. I don't really watch the spread. I don't really do that stuff like that. But I got Louisville winning by like 7 to 10 points this weekend. Easy another ACC win. Another step for ACC greatness. Shout out to Louisville. Shout out to Wake Forest. They beat Vanderbilt. Their second game. SEC opponent. They got the dub. Shout out to Wake Forest. Wake Forest looking good right now, honestly, man. We looking good right now. Wake Forest are looking good. I'm not quite sure who they play this weekend. Let me check my notes. I'm not quite sure who they play this weekend. But shout out to Wake Forest. Shout out to my favorite team right now. Besides these four teams right now, obviously Florida State, that's my favorite team to watch. But other than these four teams right now, shout out to Syracuse, man. Syracuse, in my opinion, they're like a coordinator away and a few different pieces away from really messing up people in college football right now. Last year, they had a pretty good year. They kind of was bad during late on in the season, but this is new year, man. And I like watching Syracuse. Like Syracuse versus Purdue last year was a good game to watch. And they play Purdue this weekend, so I'm watching that game. Like, that's going to be a good game to watch. So that's a good game to watch. Shout out to Syracuse. I got Syracuse winning that game, obviously, ACC. But just because I think Syracuse, they're on the verge, yo. Like, last year, they lost to Clemson by, 6 points? They had the lead, 26-6 going into that third quarter. And then it's just the experience of coaching. That stuff got in the way from Syracuse getting that win. But I believe that game was a ranked game between two. I believe that game last year was a ranked game between two ranked teams. So shout out to Syracuse. Now let's get to the four, guys. As of right now, what do these four teams need? Miami, Duke, North Carolina, and Florida State. When you guys hear these names, guess what? These teams play each other. But in order for the ACC to be on the tip-top shape, we need Notre Dame to beat Ohio State. Why? Because the ACC teams play Notre Dame. So imagine if Notre Dame goes and they beat Ohio State and they rank number 3 in the nation, 2 in the nation. Well, Notre Dame doesn't play in a conference championship game. They don't belong to a conference. Now, will the ACC make a phone call and say, hey, Notre Dame, you guys are undefeated. You guys can play in our conference championship. It may happen. The ACC, no, I hate this about the ACC, but they kind of do give Notre Dame the white glove treatment. You know what I mean? Like they treat them delicately. So whatever Notre Dame wants, they kind of give it to them. I hate it, but let's hope it don't happen this year. But we need Notre Dame. We need Notre Dame to beat Ohio State this year. We need so Ohio. So if Notre Dame beat Ohio State, I think if I remember correctly, they play Duke, Louisville, and they play Clemson as well this year. But we need Louisville or Duke to beat Notre Dame. If Duke or Louisville can beat Notre Dame this year, I think they play them. Louisville plays them on October 7th, and I believe Duke plays them later on in the year, or they play them before. Let me check this out. Okay, so Duke plays them first. All right, but they don't play Notre Dame until after they play Ohio State. So if Duke can beat Notre Dame, which would be probably ranked the number 2nd team in the nation, at that point in time, you will have two ACC teams, Florida State and Duke, ranked in the top 10 in the nation, right? They're going to elevate North Carolina and Miami. And then now you got 4 ACC teams within the top 15 in the country. No doubt about it. That's going to happen. If this plays out how it plays out, if Duke can win out until they play North Carolina, I mean, if Duke can win out until they play Notre Dame, which is in September 30th, if Duke can win that game, but we need Notre Dame to beat Ohio State. So in the ACC right now, guys, this is the matchups, right? So what the committees are going to do, they're going to take this 4 matchup here. They're going to try to dismantle the ACC because these teams have to play each other. We can't run from this. We can't hide it. They're going to be able to say, okay, well, if Florida State's going to beat Duke, whatever. Well, Florida State's a better team. Miami plays Florida State, Duke, North Carolina, things like that. Miami doesn't play Duke this year, but they play North Carolina, if I'm not mistaken. So if Miami can beat North Carolina but loses to Florida State, but you have Duke beating Notre Dame, then they would have no choice at that point but to put a one-loss ACC team in the top 10. Rather or not they're playing in the ACC title game, they would have no choice but to put someone in the top 10. So that's the best case scenario I got right now for the ACC. But we have to be rooting for Notre Dame right now. Like, there's no doubt in my mind. We got to be rooting for Notre Dame. But check this out. This is a Thursday, so I just finished watching the Miami Hurricanes game. I'm a Florida State fan, so I'm a Florida State fan, but I did not expect Miami to go out there and lose to Bethune-Cookman. Like, you don't, like, as a Florida State fan, you don't, it'll be funny. I would be laughing my butt off if Miami lost to Bethune-Cookman, but it's not going to happen. So you watch the first half of the game, Miami look good. Of course they look good because they playing against them. But Miami has to carry it out, man. Like, as a Florida State fan, right, I want to go to this game with Miami undefeated and Florida State undefeated because I want this to be an old-time atmosphere because I never got to grow up and see a top-ranked Florida State team versus the top-ranked Miami Hurricanes team college football game day at Florida State. I didn't get a chance to do that. So I don't want Miami to lose four or 5 games. Like, this is for personal reasons. Like, I want Miami to do good. And that's the same thing probably with North Carolina and Duke. If you ask their fan bases right now, do you want Duke or North Carolina to win out, they're probably going to say yes for selfish reasons. Like, yeah, I want to go to the game. I believe the game this year is at Duke this year or at North Carolina. Let me see. Actually, it's at North Carolina this year. So if those two teams stay ranked and they're playing each other, guys, that is a whole different atmosphere than your normal rivalry game, which the rivalry games are intense as it is. But imagine both of these teams stay ranked. But in order for the ACC this year to be at a point where we can stick our heads up and say we are back, which I think we're back anyway. Like, I think we was back last year. But if we can stick our necks out, we need Notre Dame to beat Ohio State. And then Duke beats Notre Dame. If that happens, we're to the moon. I mean, we're already to the moon right now. Florida State, we set it off. I thought it would be Virginia. I have Virginia beating Tennessee because I thought that Virginia could create enough havoc with Milton and throw off Tennessee. But Virginia's offense, really new. Their quarterback is brand new. He really didn't have a lot of time to get into the offensive play, but the offensive line was kind of sketchy. The receivers didn't get separation like I thought they would. So Tennessee actually pulled away late in that second quarter, going to the third, fourth quarter. But Virginia was in a point where if they would have scored 2 touchdowns off the mistakes of Tennessee, different ball game. Now you started seeing Tennessee fans sweat, but it didn't happen. So, yeah, man. But shout out to, like I said, man, I'm a Nose fan, but still, bro, I want the ACC to do good. Like, I want the ACC to do good because that's how you get the benefit of the doubt when it comes to rankings this year. Next year will be a whole different situation because you got 6 or 8 team playoffs. Correct me if I'm wrong. You got a big playoff bracket. So next year will be a little different. But this year, man, we need these things to happen. We need Georgia Tech to go into Ole Miss tomorrow and beat Ole Miss. Let me make sure they are playing Ole Miss tomorrow. I think they are playing Ole Miss versus Georgia Tech. So they're favored by 18 points. But if you watch that Georgia Tech game versus Louisville, if Georgia Tech can play defense like they played in that first half, it's over, bro. It's over. Now, Louisville was a good offensive team. Louisville last year, Louisville was a good team last year. Louisville was they beat like three big opponents last year. The games they lost were very close last year. Let me see. Let me check this out. I can check this out right now. 2022. They lost to Kentucky by 13. They beat Wake Forest. They beat ranked Pitt last year, 24. They lost to Florida State by 4 points. They lost to Syracuse, but Syracuse was a good team last year, though. So you can't even, like, some of these things you really can't. I mean, Louisville was a good team last year. Don't take it for myself. Go back and watch the tape on Louisville last year. I'm telling you right now, Louisville is a good team. This year, Louisville is a good team anyway. Like I said, guys, I'm excited to watch these 4 teams this year because I'm ACC. When the matchup started to happen, obviously when Florida State plays Miami, I want Florida State to crush them. Like, we got to beat them and I'm going to the game. But all in all, we need Notre Dame to beat Ohio State. I said this repeatedly. And yeah, man, I'm excited, bro. I'm excited. Leave a like on video, subscribe. Let me know in the comments if you guys think the ACC is a good football conference to watch, in your opinion. You guys like watching the SEC? Guess what? It's there's no difference. We watch the SEC, and you watch those marquee players play. You can literally turn on SEC. You can watch Syracuse versus Wake Forest, and I guarantee you will enjoy that football game. Hard hitting, down the nose football. Quarterback making good plays, good coaching. It's good football to watch, man. Yeah, make sure you leave a like and video, subscribe for more. I am out. Peace.